So I was considering picking Logus, but then I remembered that he didn't qualify yet again. I ended up settling on Mavic. I think I'm in his head.
Interesting first pick to pick someone who cannot defend themselves here.
That's classic NerdCube strategy, right? For the playbook last season as well.
Ghostly, you have been auto-selected.
What a privilege. Green Rain has only 10 games on PGA. One might think that you'd immediately go for him, but do not be fooled. There's no chance I'm picking him. It's Bowser all the way. It's the Mario avatars.
If I had to make a pick, it was Ghostly as well. I do have one edge over him, is that I do not play drunk.
Wow, what an intro. It's really set the table. I'm Zoras together with ryantheman. How are you today, Ryan?
Hi, everybody. I'm good, and you, Zoras?
Pretty good. Very excited about this first game of the tournament. So can you explain to us a little bit about what's the tournament about?
Yeah, so we're in Season 2 of Tournament of Fire 2 Open. So we've been through the qualifiers. Qualifiers just happened, which was really amazing. We have right here Group A, which Group A is filled with strong players. We have arguably the best player in the world, one of the best players in the world, NerdCube, in this group. So it should be a real interesting game. What do you think about Group A?
Yeah, the Group A will be fantastic. It's going to be our game that we will talk just in a minute, maybe just to give our viewer a little bit of an overview of the group that we have. You're playing yourself in the Fire Division, in the Group E. I'm curious about your impression about this one.
Yeah, week 3, I'll be playing against Claybo. There's a lot on the line. If I lose that game, I actually have to give Claybo a bottle of maple syrup. So hopefully I'll be able to win, and he won't be able to taste the Canadian maple syrup. So yeah, I'm excited about that one. Also in my group, there's going to be Green Range, which is a really strong player, and Chickens, who managed to make it through the qualifiers once again. To make it through those qualifiers, you have to be a really strong player. So
yeah,
should be excited
absolutely.
for that.
It's super, super tough. So we have all among the best players in Terra Mystica in this tournament. There will be, I'm looking forward for 2 other groups besides yours. I think Group C with Barnwell, Rainier is going to be super interesting. And you have to look out for Group F, the group of death,
I think,
with Deep Finesse, Ziva, Klushkin, Halig. That's going to be exciting.
For those who've been watching soccer, that's a soccer reference. The Euros is playing right now, and I think the group of death, Group F, that's definitely going to be a game to watch out for.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, our group today, NerdCube, Babel, Ghostly, and Bowser. I think for me, I'm very happy to cast on this group because I think they are all gentlemen. Really, I'm torn about to cheer in this group. You have to cheer, though, for our first candidate, NerdCube. I think you want the best to move on this tournament, and there's no better player than NerdCube, I believe. It's with us. With his US t-shirt, hopefully he's doing better than the US team have done.
Yeah, he took a tough L to Team Canada there during that tournament.
Team Canada in the cast here. Yeah, so NerdCube, currently the #1 arena player, and I would say the #1 arena player overall. He's been a force since he's joined this community. He has piled up the victories in the arena. However, still no victory in the Fire 2-0. So will this be his tournament? I'm really looking forward for that.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's missing on NerdCube's resume is a big tournament win. And this tournament is his opportunity to get that win. And he should be one of the betting favorites to win the whole thing at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if he continues with his 2-tempo opening, which were mildly successful on the Tuesday league. We have our second candidate, Babak. Babak, I think, is an absolute, for me, I know him only through the internet, but I totally count him as a friend. He's a formidable player, very original. He was second in BGA Arena 0. I played on that one. That's the other one I won. So he was second there, and it says here that he plays safe in standard manner, but that's not my experience with Babak at all. I think he's a very, very dynamic and original player, and I expect that he's going to do some funky stuff today.
So yeah, from what I understand from Babak too, I've played a few games with him, and I think he's extremely humble, saying that he doesn't even predict himself to finish second. I think if there's a sleeper in this group, Babak definitely has to be a guy to watch out, and he can pull the upset for sure.
Very modest, but he has to believe in his chances.
Yeah. So right here we have Ghostly. I think a lot of people in the community know about Ghostly, and he's definitely going to be one of the fan favorites, and he's well-liked member of the Terra Mystica community. He played in every qualifiers, and his dream was to make it to the tournament, and now here he is. And what do you think about Ghostly?
Yeah, there is no better guy than Ghostly. I'm super happy for him that he made this group. I think he's such a positive presence in the community. And he was qualified while quite intoxicated and super late in the morning for him. So we'll see. I wonder if he's gonna use the same recipe tonight, if he has a big beer on his side, and we will see. Very looking forward to see what kind of performance he can put up tonight.
It's definitely going to be late over there in Europe. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Apart from NerdCube, we have 3 Europeans in this group, and it will be interesting to see if it affects the kind of dynamic here.
Now that's an interesting fact, because you'd think that since we're on a Wednesday night, it'd be more Americans or Canadians playing in this group's stage. But a fun fact is that there's actually 3 Europeans.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we have Bowser here, again, a super positive presence in the community. He's very, very player that I really like to watch. He's doing often very interesting strategy. He made like a very good tournament last time. He had a very good rounds. I wonder if he can. Do you think he can do it again this time?
Yeah, so Bowser was one of the players that auto-qualified from last season. During his game, he managed to finish first in the group stage, and he definitely has the potential to finish first again. He's definitely a strong player, and yeah, I definitely think that you have to watch out for him as well.
And yeah, he is a man of vision. He homes at backs of Terra Mystica's O's. We've seen that. He put on quite a show on the selection phase 3 days ago. And it says that he was chosen due to his avatar. We have a kind of a Mario team with Bowser and Ghostly in this group. So will there be a natural alliance between Ghostly and Bowser? That seems natural. Look forward to this.
Yeah, I definitely think that watching the group selection, he was definitely the star of the show on the sidelines. He had his box of Terra Mystica O's and his Bizzle Tears. So that was definitely something that was funny. And for those of you that weren't able to watch the group selections, I think you should definitely watch it just for the antics that Bowser pulled off during that section.
Yeah, absolutely. And he showed a sign for, can we give the man some please? On the chat. That's great. That's great. Good stuff.
All right.
All right.
So we should be starting up shortly. Do you have any predictions for this game, Zoras?
Oh, you have to go with NerdCube. I mean, I'm personally, as I said, it's 4 gentlemen in this group, and I like all of them, and I would like all of them to win. But to me, NerdCube is the strongest player. He has everything to get through this phase. It will be interesting to see if he's targeted. But again, I think that these 3 players, I don't expect too much into play from them. I think that they will try to go to play the position, not play the player. Yeah, I think in these circumstances, you have to go with Nerdcube as the big favorite for this group. Do you agree with Ryan?
Yeah, I do agree that Nerdcube definitely has to be the favorite. He's well known, and he's the BGA Arena champion for the past, I think, gazillion seasons. And also, you just can't. You have to also keep in mind that the players that manage to qualify for this tournament, in order to qualify, you have to qualify through a group of 40 to 50 players, and you have to basically win 2 back-to-back games against players that are in the ELOs over 350. So everyone should be good competition.
All right, I've heard that we're ready for the game. I'm very excited. Let's look at our setup. All right. So we have here on this. So we are on the. So for those who don't know the setup, it's the Fire and Ice map here that we have, and landscapes are not on. On the Fire and Ice map, it's the central island, which will be usually very important. It's kind of central stripes of lands. We'll have to keep watch on this. And we have here on our track, interesting track with a lot of water bonus. That's the first thing that jumped to my mind. There's the water cold bonus for round 1 and 3, and then the fire cold bonus for round 4 and 5, and then the earth bonus for coins, which is always very, very important. So it seems like very, very important, a very defining culture. Not surprised at all to see Cultist as the first pick here. What are your thoughts, Ryan, on this track?
So obviously, Cultists and Mermaids were really good here, and Mermaids, since there's the double blue cult rewards in this game. And as you can see, we have a quick pick here in second spot that Mermaids were picked as well. So yeah, Cultists and Mermaids will be able to take advantage of those early cult rewards, that's for sure. Also, another thing you have the past tiles here. What do you think about the past tiles that we currently have?
Yeah, so the first thing that jumped to my mind is the fast shipping bonus. Which is a very important bonus for Mermaids. So again, that's kind of support their choices. If you're not familiar with this map, Mermaids are force on this map, probably the best faction on this map. And they are even happier here, as Ryan pointed out. They have early water bonus that can help them because Mermaids start on step 2 of the water cult. And the fast shipping bonus, Mermaids have the longest shipping track, so they can advance shipping until level 5, and they can make better use than anybody from the fast shipping bonus. So I think that's very, very important. There is no priest in, which maybe will make exploiting the cult a little better, especially the early ones. So for example, if there was a priest, then maybe Mermaids will be interested to start on it in order to secure the spade from round 1. So maybe Mermaids can't have the spade in round 1. But apart from that, the dwelling bonus is missing, and that might be defining again. That's a little bummer for Mermaids who like to use this bonus too. But it's nothing that makes them really bad still. So that's what comes to mind, I think, when I look at the past style. Anything else that you notice about the track, Ryan?
Yeah, so definitely in the early rounds, I think Cultists and Mermaids are well set up to take advantage of the cult rewards. But when we go to the later rounds, having the double red back-to-back will be important for a faction to get, whichever faction gets their priest early in the 3 spot. I think having those 2 rewards back-to-back can be really good late game to make a comeback.
Yeah, absolutely. The 4 power is often a little less good than the others, especially I find in the late game. So maybe that will be a little less important than the worker that comes just before. Another thing, I think tempo around 6 on the track, meaning that usually that's kind of lower scoring game. And we'll have like difficult, to me, like the question I always like to ask them seeing the track is when will you build trading posts? And it's not clear at all to me when you build your trading post on this track. It seems that probably you want to sanctuary in round 4 for water 1. And then if you have any resources left to build 1 or 2, but there's no like kind of clear time on this track to build trading posts, but there's a trading post bonus. So that's one thing I will follow where when our participants decide to start building their trading post.
So with there being no trading post bonus round, do you think it's going to be even more important that water 1 favor tile?
It's hard to say, really. It can go 2 ways. Sometimes some faction don't need to build that many trading posts. For example, cultist maybe will pass it. I will not be surprised to see 2 temple opening. And we have actually our full matchup here. So we have cultist, mermaids, giants, and witches. Bowser's throwing in giants. What do you think, Ryan, about that? Is he trying to make things a little more chaotic here?
So I think giants on this map, they're surprisingly actually pretty good, especially since there's the big building pass tile. They could probably maybe use that pass tile a few times during the game in order to get some points through that. And also on this map, if they increase their shipping, they have a lot of access by using 1 big to get to a lot of red hexes, which is actually pretty good for them.
Yeah, it will be interesting. One of the particularity of this map is this central hex that, just a minute, I'll try to see if I can try to show you. Yes, this central hex here, where I expect that giants usually will start. It's often a very, very defining hex because it's the middle of on the action. It's a very, very fat leeching spot, best leeching spot ever. I think on all maps that exist.
If we play some of the starting dwellings of some of the predictables, we could end up having giants surrounded round 1 with all the other factions going around them and creating a really good situation for them at the start.
Yeah, as long as they don't get trapped, sometimes it's not as bad for giants. We've seen sometimes Chaos Magician being trapped on this hex, which is always a funny side. Giants can kind of recover sometimes, like sinking a bunch of leech, but it's kind of risky because again, it's not impossible that we see witches starting here, and if say cultists mermaids jump early on these 2 hexes, then it's possible that giants get surrounded before they can build their stronghold and have their first dig. So that's the kind of dilemma that you face when you're giants in this map, when you're red on this map, where you go for the fat leeching spot, but with the risk of being trapped in the middle. So that's going to be interesting to follow.
Yeah. So interesting thing here at the start. You see that cultists are being bid down the most at the moment. What do you think about the cultist position right now here?
Yeah, we've mentioned how good the cult track is, the cult bonus is on the track. So I'm not surprised that cultists are bid down. It's not supposed to be their best map. It's not bad for cultists, but it's not supposed to be their best map. But here they have no color neighbor, so I think it's quite to be expected that cultists will be bid down. Then the question will be who's going to be the 30 faction. I think I expect giants. Do you agree, Ryan?
I also expect giants to be the 30 faction here. I think followed by witches. So I think mermaids are in a stronger position than witches here. I like the start of mermaids, especially since they start with an extra shipping. They automatically start with one shipping. They can maybe land a pass tile that gives them a little bit of power, and they could go straight away for the double digs. So they'll be able to, if they start on the position that we saw here, they'll be able to then dig this hex here, and also the crucial hex that you said here in the center island.
Yeah, we'll see, because that's the thing, right? Mermaids at the beginning, depending on where. I mean, we've put the starting spot for witches, which may or may not happen. It's possible, for example, that mermaids will probably start here, and then it means that this hex is going to be under threat, so maybe it will be more important for mermaid to take this hex first. So is it possible that witches decide to put their second dwelling there? There's all kind of this kind of dynamic early on that we're going to see, which will be interesting. So where witches, these kind of early interaction between mermaids and witches will be, I think, very, very interesting and very defining for how the game will evolve. And we see here that you were right. First bid through cultists goes to mermaids. And yeah, I believe that witches should not be too far beyond.
An interesting start that cultists normally like to have here, and that was also mentioned on NerdCube's profile, is that the double temple start. Do you think cultists will go for a double temple start?
If NerdCube gets cultist, I'm gonna bet that they are going for a double step.
You're gonna guarantee
it. Yeah, I'm gonna put my name on the line.
Yeah.
If you have a chance, yeah, I think NerdCube has been experimenting a lot. It was actually even on his profile that when we've introduced. He's been experimenting a lot with the double temple, and here it's an interesting setup to do it because. There's the trading post bonus, the trading post scoring event in round 1. So it seems that if you build two temple, you get twice the points for those 3 points. So that's a little extra that you get for the 2 temples, and it will be interesting again because we have like this hex that we've mentioned here. That's the only reason maybe that cultists will not go double temple. If they want to secure that hex against giants, maybe they decide to dig instead of going double temple. But if they don't, it's not even clear that giants like that hex so much because it still might be very tough for them to do a town there. So that's another decision I want to keep track on. What's going on? What will go on with this hex?
Yeah. So also another interesting point when I'm bidding on factions, something I like to look at is what pass tile will I be getting in which seat. So one of the strongest pass tiles in this game is probably, especially at the start, is probably the dig. Do you think witches will just scoop that up, whoever takes witches?
They could. It's definitely looked like an interesting option. If witches start on these positions, though, there's not that much pressure on their axes that they want to get. And Stronghold is super good for witches on this map. So I will not be that surprised to see witches going with the Stronghold Sanctuary bonus and opening with, for example, like they can do, their Stronghold. They've used their Stronghold ability to fly to any hex they want. And then they can build another trading post. So that's one way to build 2 trading posts. So you get 6 points in the round 1, and then you're ready to get your temple for Earth 1 in round 2. So that could be an interesting opening for witches, and maybe surprising the Giants player who expect to get the Stronghold Sanctuary bonus and who has nothing to do with the dig. So will be interesting. Probably would give the dig to mermaids though. which will make their game a lot better. So I expect, to answer your question, and more pointedly, I would say that I expect witches to take the dig, but I don't think it's a guaranteed option.
So if we're talking about that, that leaves mermaids with a pretty interesting pass tile with worker power. It gives them the 12 power they need to burn if they want to take the double dig action in round 1.
Yeah, absolutely. That's always, like, as you said, who get which passing tile is one of the big question. And the other big question is who gets the double spade here. And mermaids with a power bonus are guaranteed to get a double spade if they want it. But then they're also the only faction that starts with 9 power in Vol 2. So even if they don't get a power bonus, they probably have a good shot at the double spade anyway. So it will be interesting to watch too. But yeah, if thing goes normal, spades for witches, big building for giants, then mermaids will take the worker power and be very happy with it, and might be able even to build temple and 3 more dwellings and first round with temple and 4 dwellings, which will be very, very good for them. So that's probably the reason we see them bidded hard on the second spot. They have like a good bonus tile coming, which will leave cultist, which either the 6 coin or the 4 coin at the cult step, I believe. Which one will you favor?
I think taking that extra cult step bump might help them a little bit if they manage to get the priest action. Maybe they'll be able to get up all the way up to the 8th spot in water.
Yeah, so that will be interesting. The one thing though that we have to wonder is where is going. I believe the second dwelling for cultist will go here, and then that leaves the question: if he gets the 2 spades, where are they going? Perhaps he's gonna turn this red axis into brown. That will be bad for giants. It's not terrible for cultists, but that's maybe not the best use of the cult spade. That means like that he doesn't have like so good use of these cult spades. Usually on this map, that can often be the case. So other question, Ryan. Would you say, I think Ryan just disconnected and he's going to be back with us in a minute. So the other question I was wondering was, where's Giants going to go? And I believe there's different options. This hex is always interesting because it's one ship to get another natural red hex. Well, I think, Ryan, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So I was discussing the second dwelling of giants, because giants are going to be very, very defining in this game, as they are always, because of their ability to dig. So where are they going, and what's going to be like the hexes that they are going to put pressure on, and the hexes in which they want to expand? So I've suggested maybe this hex, though if he's trying to maximize leech, might be a possibility, though I will more expect him to go here, which is another interesting one. What are your thoughts on Giant's starting position?
So I think this one here, where you put it first, is a good spot, because Giants in the early game, you can either use a bridge or you can increase your shipping to get to a spot. So
when we have our game.
Oh, that went fast.
Sorry, Ryan.
It's okay.
I was very surprised, actually. Nerdcube is a giant specialist. He's known to be a giant specialist. And I was expecting giants to go for much lower. I thought that witches are very good in this map. I remember Nerdcube himself doing a tier list and saying that there was no circumstances in which witches and mermaids were bad on this map. So I was expecting witches to be bid down a little more. I'm very curious to see what Nerdcube has in mind. And Ryan, one of the things Nerdcube is famous for is temple giants. Do you think there's any chance that this happens here?
He's going to shock the world if he opens with the Temple Giants. I think you have to go. You almost have to go with the Stronghold opening. It has been seen before, though. If he's able to get the big building bonus past half, and if he gets the 2 worker action with all the leech he gets in the center, he might be able to open Temple and big building, but. He's not going for that line.
Yeah, we see, like we've talked about this, the danger of starting on the central hex, and Nerdcube choose to go away from that, to rather start a little more conservative. So he's going to have a lot less leech, but he's guaranteed to not be trapped in the middle. So interesting decisions right away. We see witches starting both dwelling in the center and cultists doing the same. So how does this positioning change stuff, in your opinion?
So as you can see, mermaids now have a building connected to all his 3 opponents. So he will probably be getting the most leech out of round 1, which is always good in the early rounds to get as much as possible to be able to get those bonus actions.
Yeah, absolutely. So it seems that mermaids are going to benefit from this positioning.
And they get the
spade. It seems also that double temple for cultist is more alive than ever, because now there's no pressure on this central yellow hex. So I was wondering, like, where if cultists get the spades on water, where is he going to put them? It kind of solve a little bit these issues. There's a good yellow there. So yeah, I would expect now. I'm pretty sure we'll get double temple here.
Yeah. So one of the things you mentioned in the lead up is that the possibility of witches taking the big building past how, and that's what they did end up taking. So will we be seeing a witches stronghold opening?
I will bet on it personally. Again, I think we see double temple cultist, stronghold, witches, and I don't. I don't know if we're seeing the temple giants. That's the thing I will not bet on. But
you're not going to bet on the temple giant.
No, I don't think. I'm not sure enough on it. I would love to see Duncan Giants. That's the suspense for me.
You also saw Nerdcube's reaction when he saw that witches took the that past how. He was a little bit.
To me,
he didn't predict that. Let's say.
To me, that's meme reaction. That's meme material.
Yeah. So we see everyone going with the standard opening, building up their temples to maximize the early game leech.
Yeah, they're trading post, and it will be interesting to see like how. And now mermaids, for example, they could have both the double spade plus the big action, and maybe decide to delay their temple a little bit. And that's possible if they want to expand very fast. I mean, that will help them secure a lot of important hexes. So there's the black, which is to the left of their trading post. There is the green, that's on the the eastern island. There's the black that he's just taken. So I wonder if he's decided to. So he did take the double spade, and I wonder if we will see a temple from him in round 1.
We did also see Ghostly as cultist take the worker action. So that definitely points to me that he's going for a double temple opening.
Yeah, I confirm. It really goes in the direction that we thought. I was wondering also if, like, how much you will try to get this spade on round one. He's definitely gonna get it with the cult action that he gets. I think that if he wants that a second spade, then he will have to take a priest, which he didn't. So probably he's going for one spade on water, and then if he gets any spout step, he'll start advancing on the art cult for next round. I believe.
Yeah, well, with all mermaids, with all those spades that he's getting, he has the spade pass tile and he has the double spades. I don't think he really needs to increase in the water cult as well.
Yeah, no need for spade for mermaids. I totally agree with
No.
you.
So Nerdcube goes ahead and takes the priest.
Priest action for giants. So does that mean that he wants to advance his shipping early, get to this thread, or does he want some cold position? What's your thought on this move? Why does Nerdcube want a priest here?
One of the most important parts about Giants game is that to increase shipping early in order to reach new hexes and to reach your red hexes. And by increasing his shipping early, he has a free red hex that he can get with just one shipping. He can then, where you see his dwelling on the board, use his double spade on that gray hex and then go to another free red hex, which is really good. When you're able to get to your own color hexes, that's really good for you.
Yeah, so a lot of value in shipping for Nerdcube. And we see here, so as predicted, witches go for the stronghold, which is very good on this map for them. It's going to help them expand, get to important pieces. However, he's getting a very important box dig by Mermaid Spade. So it's not the end of the word for witches, but I think that what we see here is the reason why they were not bidden more. They already lost 2 green hats. If they want to connect, it's already very complicated. Maybe they will have to dig this thread in the center. I believe that's the most natural way to do it for them. And they're going to have to go to the west, but right now there's no one on the west. Will they find neighbors there? So that's kind of the challenge that witches will face early on.
I think in time, cultists and mermaids will want to move more towards the west. So yeah, I think eventually he will find a neighbor over there. An important hex that's going to be important for witches connections is F3, which is the sort of the green hex on the tip on the central island on the bottom of the map.
Yeah,
that's going to connect his west to east game.
Yeah, exactly. I will not be surprised to see him fly there right now, actually. It's probably one of the first place to fly. The other place that he might fly is on one of these 2 axes on the east northern island, because it's easy with one spade you can get 3 hexes there, so you want to get there fast. But probably if he doesn't go with his first ship on F3 that you mentioned, the one next to the giant stronghold, it's going to be with his second flight because it's such a crucial hex for witches. And then he has to pray that cultist doesn't decide to do a sanctuary town in the middle without using is a bridge, so that he can dig this front box, make a town there, and be able to connect his stuff to this way. So that's going to be the witch's plan here. Apart from that, I would say that I like witch's opening. That it's always an opening that I like. So the idea is that you're building 2 trading posts early on. So would you remember that was one thing I was wondering when you build your trading post. He's building 2 on the first round while it's giving him points, and he's ready to get the temple in round 2 for Earth 1. So he's not giving up on Earth 1 because Giants is there. He knows that he can take his time with Earth 1, and I believe that he's going to be able to take it next round. So that's a good thing for Witches here.
Yeah. So we see as well Bowser upgrading to build a second trading post instead of building more dwellings or maybe even building a temple.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising. Bowser, again, he's a very, very interesting player. Often comes up with interesting strategy. I wasn't expecting mermaids to go to trading post in this opening. I was expecting him to go for 3 digs and maybe not build a temple, but 2 trading posts I wasn't expecting. So he's delaying a little bit his expansion for a more balanced economy. And again, comes to the point that it's a hard track to build trading post because there's no trading post event, and the way the events chain with each other, there's not the clear time to build them. So we see like 3 factions building 2 trading posts in round 1. That's very, very unusual. I personally, I'm not sure I remember that, seeing 3 faction building 2 trading posts in round 1. Have you seen that, Ryan, ever?
It's really interesting. Unless everyone's going double temple, I don't think I've ever seen this amount of trading posts built in round 1.
Yeah, it's particularity of this game here. We see Bowser passing first, going for the coins. He's going to have 1 million coins, right? He has 2 trading posts on the board, and he passes for 6 coins, and he has 8 on his stock. So there's a saying that you never have enough coins, and we'll see when he gets to spend all this fortune in this game.
Speaking of coins here, do you think NerdCube uses his power to take the coins action?
I would expect him not. I think that he can pass probably and get them next turn. We see that he didn't advance his shipping with his priest as we expected him to. He decided to get some cult presence to get this very valuable 3 spots on the Earth cult for 3 coins next round. And he decides to expand with the bridge here. It's kind of interesting. Really mess with... Is the plan to mess with mermaids here? I mean, we've seen NerdCube shaking his head when he saw that mermaids will get the spade in round 1. And he wants to win this game. And maybe if he identifies mermaids in the lead, it's possible that he wants to target him, and that he's going to dig this blue hex with his giant thing.
With his stronghold action. So we also see
that
witches.
Would be mean.
Yeah, it'd be mean, but it'd be good. I think it hurts an opponent, and it's also good for him for his expansion.
Well, I mean, it does hurt an opponent, but for his expansion, it's more natural to try to connect the 2 red on this southern island, right? So it's kind of sacrificing, and he does it. So we see that NerdCube means business, and he's gonna... and we didn't see the sign that Bowser showed, but I think his camera is too small.
Bowser has his poker face on.
Yeah, I think he must be regretting a little bit here going for this trading post rather than building up his dwellings.
Yeah. I also see that witches were able to pass on to the spade bonus, so they'll be able to use it to get another hex open for them.
That's very good for them, right? They can fly to the northwest island and use the spade there, and they're gonna have 2 more dwellings that they can build on this north and west island. So I'm sure he was very, very happy to get that. I wonder, the big question for Witches next round is, do you go temple for a twin? And what's your thought on that? Do you try to expand to build as much dwelling as you can, or do you go Temple Earth 1 as witches next round?
So the interesting thing is that they have so much power in Bold 3. If they'd want to, they could take the double dig and secure up the red hex in the center, and then they could use their spade to get the gray hex right beside it, which will then secure an early town, and they could get a really strong key and a start, an advantage over the others economically.
Yeah, I didn't thought of that. That's a very, very good point actually, because next turn is the digging round, so it makes total sense to go for the double spade. But we see that Cultist decided to prevent that, and Babbitt's shaking his head. He knows that's tough low because that's connection for him. And we see people.
So
I've talked about a table of gentlemen, and people are hungry for blood early on in this one.
and Bowser goes ahead and takes those double spades.
Double spades again for Bowser. He's denying the table. It's an interesting move. I think I like that. It's blows flying all over the board here.
So everyone's attacking everyone, and I don't think people are just targeting NerdCube. Everyone's just targeting everyone here at this moment. And actually, NerdCube is the only one who has been able to do his own thing at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. He has this game exactly where he wants it. It's a bloodbath, and that's to me that's his Giants game, right? We see that NerdCube maybe was a little disappointed not to get the big building tile in round 1, but he was able to pass for it in round 2. So I'm sure he's pretty happy with that. It's just in the end delayed a little bit. The points that he gets. Probably if he could get another dwelling last round, he would have liked that, but it's far from being too bad. So I like NerdCube start. He's gonna be the one, if he wants, he can to be able to go for an early town too. So that's another thing that we're going to have to watch for.
The only thing is he needs that. Right now he's a little bit coin short. He does have 3 coins coming in next round with the priest he used in round 1. But right now he only has 4 coins. So if he'd want to build a temple to maybe secure the last copy of Earth 1, he definitely needs the Act 4 action, if that's his plan.
Yeah. And so we'll see if he jumps on that right now, if he's ready to burn to 4 power token at this point of the game, meaning that he's not going to go for the double spade action the rest of the game. So that's an interesting moment. A lot of tension in this decision. Yeah, go ahead.
Is the double spade action that
Yes.
important for Giants?
It's not, right. It's not a priority, but sometimes you will need it to finish down or something, especially without landscape. It's harder to get to dig. You cannot really dig with Herker, and you're probably not advancing digging. So it is. I think it is a meaningful decision, but I still think I'm with you. It's not that important. I think it was the right decision for NerdCube to go for it. In the meantime, we've seen Cultist advancing shipping. So is he going for, I believe he's going to go for 2 ships here. It's got to be his play. Unless he wants to use a single spade on the black hex, that's possible too. Let's see what he does. He goes to 2 ships. All right. So that's no think. What's the reason you think for that?
He's on the shipping bonus pass tile. So that's 6 points right there that he's going to get extra from when he passes. And also, it allows him to reach a bunch of brown hexes without having to use any digs. So maybe he's going to save his power for next round to get maybe the double dig action if he has the opportunity.
Yeah. So that's very, very interesting analysis. And as you said, if you can get the double dig next round, that's going to be much better than the single dig this round. And cultists on this map, I find people at the beginning, I think, didn't play them well. Took a while to realize that for this map, the way to play cultists is shipping cultists, because they have a lot of hexes that are accessible through shipping, and I believe that Ghostly is making the right decisions too here. He's been like less aggressive than the others, just build his 2 temple in this corner. Now he's advancing shipping and is ready for a big expansion in the rest of this round and the next round. He has the coins coming from the cult. I think he has this game. He's the other one who has a pretty good start, I believe.
Yeah, he's in a good position. Like also by having no color neighbors, the hexes that he wants to eventually build to and dig, they're not really under threat by any of the other factions. So he's just doing his own little thing here, and yeah, he looks to have a really good start.
Yeah. And we see that the witches decide to go for the line where they go temple for Earth 1, leaving giants out of Earth 1. Giants often, they are a very strong economic faction, and they are a very also disturbing faction. The thing that they struggle most for is scoring. And if they can get Earth 1, it always solves a lot of their problem, but it's not happening this game. All other player went for Earth 1. And it will be interesting to keep tracks on how their cube score in this game. We already see him on the Stronghold Sanctuary pass tile, so I expect that he's going to try to maximize these passing tile. I wonder if he's going for an early town. Is he going for if he's going for an early town? What town would you expect from him?
Going in an early town and having the shipping bonus pass tile, I think shipping will be important for him moving forward to be able to get to some more red hexes. And so I expect that to be an option. He can also go, there's only one faction that's really dangerous on all the cults, which is cultists. So maybe he'd want to get the 2 key town to bump up in factions and steal points at the end of the game as well. That's also an option for him.
Interesting. I think that the move from Giants indicated he's going for an early town. So we'll keep an eye on what town he chooses. The other interesting thing. Oh, yeah. I saw that Bowser didn't build again on the green hex that he turned blue last turn, so it's still on the table. And I was wondering, like, if witches had a way to mess up with that, but it doesn't seem like it. I believe that Bowser passed before, and witches, he still has his bonus spade, I guess. So he could use the bonus spade on this blue hex and then use his stronghold ability to fly there. And to him, it has some value, right? Makes now that he cannot do the center town, it can give him a sanctuary town there, and it also now is the route for connection. So we see Babbitt going for a bridge, and that's what he's going for. And that's another blue hex that Bowser will lose. It's had like such good expansion early on, but it seems that nothing is going his way now.
Do you think he's regretting, with all those coins in the bank for next round, do you think he's regretting that second trading post and not building out those 2 dwellings to secure those spots?
You bet. He is regretting that decision.
Yeah. So
and yeah, we see down. Yeah, against big suspense. What he's gonna pick? We see his camera. He's looking around. He's hesitating. Let's just build up the suspense here. I know, like, in his seat, it's a big decision, right? And you can see, like, he understands that, and he's going to what the town is going to get him. So, it's a great moment. So you say, yeah, shipping town, I think, will be my pick too. It makes tons of sense. As you said, there's the shipping bonus in the game, the pass shipping bonus. It's going to help reach important hacks. Next turn is dwelling around. So with one dig, you can get at least two hexes. Wonder what he's like. Two key, maybe priest. Interesting.
He took the priest town.
Yeah, that's the one we didn't expect. Any idea what's behind this decision?
I'm guessing he thinks he has enough gold to upgrade his shipping, so maybe he's gonna go for just getting the maximum amount of points possible.
Yeah, it's probably said that giants have difficulty scoring, so I guess that's part of the reason, right? He's saying that he doesn't have Earth 1, he needs all the points that he can, so he's picking big town here. And again, is he using this crease to advance shipping? Is he sending it to Earth? He is advancing shipping. Which, yeah, I suppose was to be expected. As we said many times, giants are shipper. They need shipping early on. They are much more threatening to the other players with shipping. So that's probably, again, advancing shipping is a no-brainer. The question here will be, because not going for the shipping town cost him basically 4 coins, right? He traded 5 points for 4 coins on round 2. And will he come to regret this decision, seeing he has 7 coins? I mean, he passed for the trading post bonus, and he still has 7 coins because he has trading post on the MD. So I guess it makes sense. I understand this decision. I'm gonna put you on a spot, Ryan. Who do you think is ahead right now?
I'm looking at this right now, and I think Ghostly's in a really strong position. I think the double digs this round will be real important, and if he can get those double digs this round to secure the center hexes, his game's just in the right direction.
Any chance that Bowser is going for the double dig for a 3rd round in a row?
With all the hexes he just lost, losing 1 hex to Nerd Cube, and he goes for a single dig.
Single dig.
I guess he had nowhere to put the other dig.
Yeah. Yeah, single dig. I mean, Ghostly must be dancing, right? He's gonna get the double dig. I think I agree with you. Everything is the only thing that's not perfect for cultists. I guess I was about to say like losing a brown hex, but he was never going to this brown anyway. So I think that everything is going perfectly for cultists too. I think I agree with you. They have to be considered a favorite here.
They'll be also building a bunch of dwellings this round. They have a bunch of gold. They have a few workers, and they're going to build up their worker economy. They're in a good spot. So the question is, does he go directly for those 2 center hexes, or does he maybe go for the hex, the yellow hex beside where Bowser just digs, so he unlocks more potential brown hexes?
That's a good question. I think he has like 4. And we'll keep track on that. I'm not sure what I will do. I think you want as much as expansion. I know that I'm the kind of player who like as much expansion as I can get early on. So I think I will be inclined to do that. But sometimes it's kind of come back haunting me. But here I believe there's not so much pressure on his axe. So maybe I can go a bit greedy. I love what he did, though, right? He recognized that no one was pressuring the double spade anymore, and he decided to send a priest to the cult. He recognized that he had the time to secure a 3 spot in the cult, and I think that's a sign of a player who's really on his game. And Ghostly, again, is playing a pretty good game here. And now we shall see the decision. What will you do?
He has to go for the double dig here.
Oh, yeah, he is definitely going, but which hexes?
So there you go. He's securing that, and does he secure the center hex? Oh, he secures just completely go for an expansion.
Yeah. Interesting. So he doesn't have enough worker to build all of them, right? That's maybe the argument you could have to dig one yellow in the center. But anyway, you're not going to build all of them. So why not securing the hex you need for the town? But I mean, that's still just thinking, yeah.
Interesting thing here, Nerdcube still has 4 power in his bowl 3, and he didn't use it to take the coins action. What do you think he's going to save that power for?
I missed that. So Witches got this coin action, right? I think Witches also has now a much better game than it looked. Getting this fax was so huge for them. The fact that it was hanging. So I'm talking about the green on the other side of their bridge. I think that was so huge. But yeah, I think honestly, I don't have any explanation why Nerky will not go for the 17th answer. I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea?
Maybe he wants another priest?
A priest or a bridge, but yeah, it's put me speechless. I'm looking forward for this next decision. If he ends up converting them just to coins, we'll have to believe it's a mistake. All right. Still, again, we see Mercury as being one of these long chats. I've been watching a couple of his streams, and he's very, very good to explain his decision. I would like to have his voice here. I would like to be in his head and getting what he's thinking at. And obviously, he's a very, very good player to kind of analyze his opinion, realize what they are up to, what everyone is going to do, and basing his decisions on that. Here, I mean, if you look at his game, he has one chip. He doesn't have much else to do, right? He's converting 3 power and is passing on the big building tile. So
he's setting up for next round.
Yeah, nothing really. Could have done a temple. That could have been a possibility. So I think you have your answer here. It seems like he wanted to make sure that he passes back on the big building tile and didn't want to spend one action to get the coins and risk losing it. That's the explanation I've got now. So I expect, but what I'm puzzled here is, if I'm not mistaken, he's getting 5 power, right?
So I think he's expecting Ghostly to build on the brown hex that he opened up when he used his double dig to give him that extra power, so he'll be able to get the 7 coins action.
As we said, there's no reason for Ghostly to build there. He has the 2 hex in the north that he can go to. So I do believe, probably he's betting on the fact that if Ghostly doesn't build there, then he can use his Giant's ability on this hex. So I suppose that's kind of the threat that he has, which will probably be enough to force Ghostly to actually build there and give him the power that he needs. So yeah, kind of smart play from Giants then. I see now what's his reasoning.
There he goes.
Yeah.
He built there to get that free leech.
And Ghostly might decide to give him an extra one. We'll see. Usually as in a faction you want people to deny the leech that you're giving them, but as Tiltus is a little different, so I wonder if he will build on the down on the bottom right corner or not here. Will be interesting to see, or if he builds rather next to mermaids, who's more likely to accept the leech. And we've seen a hard dig from Witches. So Witches is gonna ends up in a pretty good spot, right? He has a stronghold, he has a temple, he's winning the air cult, and he's gonna have 6 dwellings on the board. After round 3, it's a pretty good position to be, I think.
He has extra coins as well moving forward, which is really good. He's
Well,
set up
indeed.
to build a temple next round and get to water 1 if that's the tile he chooses.
Yeah, that's the other question, right? That's the big question we have coming. Who's gonna get and not get water? We see that Mermaid decided to secure it already. So the race is on, right? I'm sure that NerdCubes won the 7-coin action, but does he risk passing on water 1 and having no scoring favor tie? That's going to be the big decision he's going to have to make at the beginning of next turn. And then probably, I mean, I see no reason why Witches will not Sanctuary for water 1 next round, right? I think that's a given. That's going to be their first move. And then there's the question, does Cultist Sanctuary for water 1? Right now, Cultist doesn't have many coins. So maybe that's going to be NerdCube safe. Since Cultist doesn't have enough coins, maybe he can't do the Sanctuary for water 1. And NerdCube can actually go for the 7-coin action. Will you risk it as Giants here?
The thing is, his trading post isn't in the right spot to build the temple. In my opinion, he wants to build his temple on the 2 other red dwellings so he can build a sanctuary there. Because if he's building a temple on where his trading post is currently, then does he upgrade that to a sanctuary? Or would he prefer having a sanctuary where his other 2 dwellings are?
Yeah, that's a good point. It means that he's going to be slow on water 1, but probably, as things stands, I believe that Cultists have a very hard time building a sanctuary next round, so maybe he can take his sweet time.
Cultists have, with the gold they have and the power they have, they can build a temple here.
Or a sanctuary. Both
A sanctuary,
possible, I guess. We see that no hesitation from their queue. We went for the 7-coin action. And yes, he's sitting on the pile of resources, and good thing, because like if you compare his game with Witches here, Witches has a tempo and their cube doesn't have. Witches has 1 dwelling more down than their cube, and Witches have Earth 1. So it seems to me that Witch's game, if you just compare these 2, is clearly superior. The only thing that NerdCube has as compensation for that, because they have also the same amount of points. So the only thing that NerdCube has as compensation is 5 workers. And if you want to add to that, I think that also Babok is having a better position in call game. So, I mean, those 5 workers, you have to get some value from them if he wants to be able to do something in this game. And it will have to be, again, there's no great scoring event until the end. So he will have to definitely he's going to build a sanctuary for sure this round. I think that he really must get both Earth 1, both Water 1 and Air 1, and hope that it's going to be enough here.
Well, the thing is, he is on the big building pass tile, and there we go. Sanctuary. Do they both go for Water 1?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they both. And that hurts. If you're NerdCube, that hurts.
That's a tough. He's in a tough situation. But he is
Because
on
now-
the big building pass tile, which is 8 points this round.
Yeah, yep. And so he's gonna get air one. He's gonna score a little from that. What's gonna be his second favorite tile though? Because fire two, I'm not sure is doing. It's looking a little rough for 3 towns. I mean, we see 2 clear towns. There's already one build. That's the other thing. Like, if again I continue this comparison with witches doesn't have a town. Yeah, has almost as many points, and he doesn't have the town with the 5 points bonus from witches. So witches has water one and earth one. It seems that to me that witches are clearly above giants, and things are looking a little bleak for Nerdcube. Again, I wish that Nerdcube advance, and I hope he has something in the bag, and that there's something I'm not seeing. But right now, I don't know if you agree, but it looks tough for Giants.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot, having no scoring favor tiles here, missing out on the 2 most popular ones, which is Earth 1 and Water 1. Moving over, what do you think about Cultist position? Do you think they're still as strong and as of a threat to let's say witches?
That's often kinds of happens with cultists, right? They have like this great opening. They're looking great, but sometimes they kind of get so tall that they kind of run out of coins. And I wonder if that might be a danger here. With no clear town locations, they have like a lot of digging to do. I still like Cultist game, but a little less than before, I would say. I think that it looks a little less clear, right? It's really, really spread out. There's a lot of work to dig these towns. He is on the past shipping bonus, so he's going to score. I mean, he has ways to score, but he's going to have to find ways, at least competition, what Witches is doing here, which I believe is the runner-up, I think. Right now, I think he's in the best place.
Yeah, so that goes back to the decision, like of not digging in the center and digging outwards to expand. Now he still needs 2 digs and able to complete that town in the center.
Yeah. He needs 2 digs for that town in the center. Will he be tempted to advance his digging? He doesn't have that much coins, that's the thing. I will not be surprised to see him build a couple of trading posts to end this round. I think he has the coins that the power is going to give him. And he's going to have a lot of workers income from the fire cult. So it seems natural that he will complement his economy by 2 trading posts, but I don't believe that's enough to advance digging. And that asks a question of how he's going to be able to dig a second town, because the middle town I'm pretty sure he's going to get. But after like this 2 digs, these afford, will he have enough left in the tank for a second one? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he just needs at this point. He doesn't even need the dig action. He has just so many workers coming in. He has already almost. I think he has like the Earth 2. He has like almost all his dwellings out, and he has 4 workers coming in next round for the cult bonus. So definitely workers. He doesn't need it to use the special action for digs. He needs to use his power for coins.
Yeah, totally. He's loaded in workers. The one player we haven't talked about is Mermaids. How Mermaids is recovering from losing 2 natural blue, 2 hexes that were blue to 2 opponents in those early round. Is he still doing fine, you think?
I think he's in a tough spot. He normally I think he'd want to get 3 towns this game, and it's looking bleak to even make 2. To make 2, you think he needs a bridge, or he needs to double dig that gray hex in the northern area.
Yeah, And mermaids needing a bridge, especially on that map, it's never a good news, right? A bridge for only 2 towns, it's not great. And I think like we are kind of mid games. It's a good time to kind of make a little continue. We've started like going through every player's game. But if we look like more generally, I'll be compared to each other. I think that we have Nerdcube, Babuk have a lot of points on Ghostly's not too far behind, and Bowser is more behind. And he's not sitting on a scoring tile. He's just getting 2 towns. So it looks like he's the last player. The only thing he has going for him is that he has all favorite child. Outscoring favorite child, and we'll see if he's able to turn that into points, but I don't believe it's going to be enough. If we look now on the cult game, what do you see there, Ryan?
I see that cultists are, as usual, they're pretty strong in all the cults. They're leading 2 cults, and I don't see anyone taking fire or earth away from them. They're catching up to Bowser on water, which can be so that's a bit difficult. I think Bowser needs to start sending. He has a few priests left. I think he needs to send his priest to water and secure that cult up. And then we see here on the air cult, which is of course they already start with 2 bumps in air. They're way ahead. They use their priest for the 3 spot, and cultists, they can catch up. I think they'll end up finishing second just because there's no incentive for Bowser or Nerdcube to put any priests to the air cult.
Yeah.
So an interesting thing I just noticed is where Nerdcube is building his temple and his sanctuary. I think he's going for 3 towns.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, yeah, good eye there. He's going to do a sanctuary town on these 3 little hexes, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gonna go in the bottom corner. He's just gonna build a small little town there and chill out.
Yeah, interesting.
He's gonna need a bridge, which will be I think might be contested in the last few rounds as well.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? The one thing that it's kind of cute. It's gonna be on the cooldown on the cooldown list if it happens. However, it means that he's gonna, as we've noticed, his burn below 6 powers. He already uses Giant's ability. To me, that means that he has only 2 digs left in this game. And if these 2 digs go there, it means, I think, a very, very small network for Giants. So besides getting the 3 towns, he's not having much going for him. No cult, no network. Although network is going to be small for everyone. I expect cultists will win it.
Cultists and witches. Witches are well set up. They made sure they have the hexes they need to connect. One of the difficult things that's going to be for them in the final rounds is, are they going to have enough gold to upgrade their shipping naturally, or will they have to get a shipping town, which is maybe worth a little bit less points?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because they will need 3 ships definitely to connect. That's often the case for witches on this map. We see that cultists, rather than going for a true trading post that I thought he would choose, decided to hard dig the center hex. I'm a little surprised by this decision, to be honest. We'll see. Maybe he's still. Yeah, go ahead. What's your thought on that?
I think he wants to build his trading post in the center as fast as possible, maybe to secure the 2 key town. But at this point, is it worth it for him to want the 2 key town?
You see, if he's getting only 1 town, maybe he wants to have access to the town spot on 2 codes. That's the only reason I would see to go for the 2 key town at this point. So do you think he's converting his 2 priests to workers here in order to get the trading post?
Yeah, I don't see what else, like for the rest of the game, I don't see what else you can use those priests for other than increasing dig and maybe using one in the cults. But he's in a good position already in all the cults, and he doesn't necessarily need to use his priest towards cults. So they basically become workers in late game,
Yeah,
especially for the
yeah,
cultists, since they have so many free bumps and they could just climb up the tracks.
yeah, exactly. And he needs to get those trading posts up, I believe. That's again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, and I know that I do about trading posts. I always focus on this building. I thought that it was a difficult job to build them. I thought Cultists had the perfect opportunity to build two in this round. It didn't, but I think building at least one will be important.
So you see Bowser here. Bowser decided to he went full on the favorite tires for as many points as possible, and he's going to need those points if he wants to try to catch up to the leaders here.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. I'm not gonna lie, I have difficulty believing this game. He's in a very hard competition on the water cult. It's not clear who's gonna win it. It doesn't seem like he's setting for a very big network either, right? We've said it. It seems that mermaids and giants are gonna fight for third home network. And he's sitting at 40 points on no pass style, so it's very hard to see where points are coming for him.
Yeah, Ghostly goes ahead and takes the worker action.
Yeah, because that's the thing in the world that he's missing the most. He's swimming in workers. What's just going to do with them?
Do you think he has enough or no? He's missing one gold to be able to build those two trading posts this round.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, why not using the power for coins? If you use the power for coins, you get one last trading post, but you get more. Get more coins. For coins rather than for power. Rather than
at this stage,
coins at the trading post.
I agree with you on that one. Plus the pass tile that just opened up is the pass tile big building bonus with another two work.
Yeah, it's going to be a record. I mean, is he trying? I know it's not something that is not very well known, but there's a limited amount. There's a limited pool of worker in Terra Mystica. And it's theoretically possible to drain that pool dry. So maybe that's the strategy here.
In the actual board game, they're just scoop up all those workers and
it's in the actual board game, but they replicated it in Terra Mystica. You cannot see it on the overlay, but on the website when you play on BGA, you see actually the workers, and each time a player take a workers, they take away a little cube from this virtual pool. So of course, if you're new to Terra Mystica, that's not going to happen. I'm kidding. It's basically impossible. But it's just funny to see Ghostly being with so many workers. And we see that he didn't go for the big building child, which will have been 4 points, prefer to go for the spades and the coins on it. Which I agree. I mean, you want, as you said, you can dig with workers. The coins, the points are going to be valuable. So
it's
yeah,
almost two coins or two workers, but you get 4 points.
Yeah.
He gets a dig. So the dig it's basically 1 dig versus 4 points. That's the question. And what is more valuable to him at this moment? Is it the dig or is it the 4 points?
Yeah.
And I think those 4 points are important.
They are important. And I mean, 2 workers is 2/3 of a day too, right? So of course, maybe he also has the 2 coins. So I would put it, 1 worker and 2 points versus 4 points. And I believe I take the 4 points in this situation.
We also see Babuk take the gold, and he's still with 12 workers, 17 coins, and 2 priests, with 4 power in bowl number 3.
He's looking pretty good and is sitting on the trading post pass tile. He's gonna build a lot of trading posts this round. So
Trading
yeah,
posts and
I think-
dwellings. He's going to be building cities as well. He's in a good position.
yeah, I think Babak is a very, very strong position here. So we see Ghostly building on the bottom right of the map, meaning that we will see probably Nerdcube have to use his giant ability to block this fax if he's still believing in this 3 towns. I think it's going to be an automatic here.
He also scooped up that bridge to secure a town. So I think he will be getting those 3 towns.
Yeah, I think definitely. His question is, will that be enough? He's not sitting on a bonus tile. I expect Nerdcube to pass very early in this round. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, of course, he wants the 6-4 dwelling to build, but he really, really want that pass now. So I will not be surprised to see him pass next turn, actually.
I think he's gonna want to build his dwelling, at least one dwelling, to take advantage of the since he doesn't have Earth 1 and they're on a dwelling building round, so he's going to get 2 points from that. And it looks like everyone else still has a bunch of actions to do. So
Mermaid's probably passing early, I believe.
I think mermaids though they'd want the shipping passed out.
Yeah, definitely.
He has to watch out for.
That's another factor in Ghostly decision, right? If he passed for the big building,
He's
yes,
in control.
Yeah, he's more denying it to Nerdcube. I don't know if he is afraid of Nerdcube or not in this game, but it will have had this advantage. So here comes the challenge. Is he going for the 2-key town or what else? I'm very curious to see it. He went for the 1-key town. Yeah, so it's a culty town. The only thing which is less good than the 2 keys that he doesn't have 2 keys, right? Which is the nature of the 2-key town. Will that hurt him at some point? Is there any chance that Giants catch him on the fire cult? Because he knows that he cannot climb on this or on the earth cult. Giants doesn't have tons of priests, so there's a good chance that he's going to be safe, but now last round is Temple scoring, so I will not be that surprised to see Fire Tree from Giants and stealing the Fire Cult. That will not be such a big surprise to me.
So Babuk is going ahead and securing another town spot.
Yeah. Again, looking very strong.
Do you think Ghostly in this position he would pass if he has the opportunity to go onto a scoring tile, or do you think he still wants to play out this round and maybe build an extra temple, an extra dwelling?
Yeah, I see where you're going. I'd be very tempted to pass early with him too, especially for the shipping passing tile. I think it's going to be very valuable. So, and again, if you're the first pass, building trading posts is not that important in this round because you're going to make your money through the 7 coin action. So it will not. I'm sure that he's eyeing this bonus, and I will not be surprised to see Bowser passing for it because it's very important for him too. And if he doesn't, and that means like passing over his cult action, and if he doesn't, watch out for Ghostly's early passing.
So we can't forget that if Bowser lands on that shipping tile, he has the ability to possibly get 15 points out of that. And he goes ahead and passes. So will he take that? Oh, he doesn't.
Oh wow, Nerdcube is scratching his head here. Why? I'm surprised. I'm as surprised as you. I think we both expected to see the fast shipping, and that's another blow to Nerdcube game. I mean, I suppose that to connect, Nerdcube needs 3 ships, but I'm not sure he was planning on connecting. As we said, he doesn't have Art 1, so he's not doesn't have a big incentive to build buildings, and he doesn't have much network anyway. So I think he wasn't planning on connecting, and he was thinking he would pass on the big building. But right now, we have to wonder if it changes his plan. Is he going for 3 ships and trying to get these 2 last spreads and try to do something on network? With passing on the fast ship, I think he's gonna have to advance his shipping now.
Yeah, but I think since he will be building the 3 towns, whenever I have the past shipping pass tile, I always like taking a shipping town because I always believe it's worth more points than it actually is. Because that shipping pass tile, since it upgrades your shipping, it's giving you, let's say at this stage, Nerdcube would get 4 points for the town, the shipping town. He'd get 3 points for upgrading his shipping, and he gets another 3 points for his bonus pass tile. So that's always an option. That's 10 points right there.
Yeah, a lot of value for a shipping town for sure. So yeah, I'm curious to see this Bowser's play. I mean, the only way I can explain it is that he's planning on the stronghold next round. We'll see. I'm very curious to see what Bowser has in mind. And in the meantime, I think that Babbitt continues to play his game. He got the other 8-pointer as a town, pretty much securing his position on air, especially since Cultist doesn't have a key left and is not anywhere close to build a second town. So that's pretty much locking down the air cult. He still has probably 1 or 2 trading posts to build, and I don't think I see a 3rd town for Witches. I think it's going to be a 2-town game, but he's going to have a lot of points at the end of this round, and I think he's in the driver's seat here. So we see here that 2 players are in the kind of waiting game. Ghostly wants the trading post pass style, while Babuk doesn't want to give it to him. It's the question of who's going to have the most action. I believe that Babuk is going to win this waiting game, and both of them are going to end up without a pass style. Point-wise, we see it's pretty tight right now. If we just look at the pure points each player has, but again, Witches and Cultists both have points on the network coming, and Witches has a town coming, which Cultist doesn't, but Cultists have very good position in the cult. It's tough to call. What do you think of?
You see, Witches can make it
right
a 3rd town.
Where do you see it?
They need a bridge, but they might have the possibility of building it in the north with their stronghold.
There?
Yeah, they need 3 digs. No, with the stronghold.
Oh.
The stronghold, they build a bridge across, and
Yeah.
they take the gray hex. They already have a green hex, and they take the red hex.
It's a lot of investment. I don't know, like 3 digs and a bridge. He doesn't have advanced digging, so it's a lot of power, right? Or a lot of workers, but I don't think he has the workers to do 3 hard digs.
So I think you can do 1 now, and what did he do? You can do 1 now on the gray hex, and then build his dwelling. And then next round would anybody want the double digs other than him? But he'd need the bridge action as well.
Yeah, and we cannot get both, can he? So he decided to use a stronghold on the west. probably indicating that he's not thinking of the third town. He's decided to build all his trading posts. I like this decision. He's sitting on the trading post past that. He's gonna pass with a lot of points. A lot of.
And he also denied Ghostly those points in the final round.
Yeah. And actually, I've made a mistake. He didn't use his stronghold abilities on one ship, so he built there and he still has the stronghold ability that he could use now. Making sure that he passed after Ghostly. And yeah, probably, I still believe Cultist will win Network here. But I think Witches has a solid second place on Network. He's gonna win one cult. He still has one town coming. I still like Witches game quite a lot.
Those 8 points are really good.
Yeah.
So it sort of comes down to the Bowser not building on that blue hex that he turned in round 1.
Yeah, that's such a big difference, right, in this game. To be fair, Witches had a very bad break with Cultists deciding to dig the red hex in the middle. That at that point he looked dead, right? And he passed from dead to being in a very good spot when he was able to build that bridge and steal that blue, that unbuilded blue from mermaids.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. Babuk decides to take the shovel, the dig.
Yeah. Did he have anything better to take? We see that Cultists use the bridge, so maybe there's a second town coming there for Cultist. Yeah, there probably will be, although it's not that easy either. I wonder if he has to go for Fire 2 or something. Because he doesn't have much dwelling left in his pool.
Yeah, so he could either go for Fire 2 or maybe build his Stronghold, which gives him 7 points.
Yeah, it's true. That's maybe what he's gonna do.
But also building a temple is 4 points. So at that point, with the temple for Fire 2, will he be able to build another trading post after and another dwelling? That's the question he should be.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we see Battle going for Air 1. I wonder, it's gonna make the last time a little harder. He still has to advance ship twice. He doesn't have that much coins, and without Fire 2, he has to make an expensive trading post, or maybe he's gonna use that dig, that to hard dig and build a black hex, possibly. But it's still a lot of resources. So
yeah, I'm not sure if he has enough. He only has one priest to increase shipping, and he needs to increase shipping a second time.
Yeah, so he needs a shipping town.
He needs a shipping town, or at least a priest town.
Or maybe a priest action. That's still possible. There's still a lot of way for him to go, but I'm looking forward to see how he's planning that.
I think he needs to save his power though to use it towards getting more gold.
Yeah. Well, if he could go for a coin town rather than a priest town and go for a priest action. Something like that.
So Bowser's he put something in front of his camera, but unfortunately I wasn't able to read exactly what it said.
Not something all. With the round camera, we cannot see the whole sign. He has to work on his sign for next game. That seems like it would have been a lot of fun.
His sign game. So
yeah, I've talked about Bowser being very good with visuals, as we've seen in the selection. And he was close to put on Coil Show here, but next it will have to be T4. Next tournament, maybe, because I'm not sure he's qualifying here.
yeah, Bowser still hasn't built any towns though. I'm curious to see what he's waiting for as a town.
I really don't see more than 2 towns, but does he have like an even 2 towns? Looks actually challenging.
He needs to use most of his workers to dig that gray hex that I was talking about up in the. And then he has an easy town in the center.
Yeah, which he could already have built, so he's keeping that one. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, a lot of the big points towns have been off the board, so there's only really the 11-point town left that's really strong.
Yeah, and he's just sitting at 53 points.
He's not doing too well on network.
Yeah, tough game, I think, for Bowser. We've seen that those two. I think he had an interesting strategy, but probably missed twice that other player big as Hex, and that was his downfall. Yeah. So we see Nerd Cubes going for the priest. I mean, there's also like the whole question here. There's the question of who's going to go for the game of the second chance, who's going to win, who's going to go for the game of the second chance. And we see here, I think if Babok can find a way to connect, to build his talent connect, I think that he should not have too much difficulty to at least finish in the second of these 2 spots. I believe Ghostly right now is the other player that I will bet on staying alive in this tournament. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think Ghostly and Babok are in really strong positions, but don't count out Nerdcube. Nerdcube still has a bunch of workers that he can upgrade his shipping. He's still at 83 points, and he still has another town coming in. Since Bowser isn't doing that good on network either, I think Nerdcube still has an opportunity to maybe beat him and finish third on network. So, yeah, don't count him out yet.
Yeah, I know. I always feel like it's kind of a risky call to count out Nerdcube. He's a fabulous player and very, very resourceful. So I'm all ready to be proven wrong here, and I will not be surprised at all by it. But right now, I'm not seeing it for Giants. And we see which is I think they are going for probably
build another temple.
Yeah, I believe. I wonder. Like, it's probably what he's deliberating here, right? Do you go for Fire 2 or do you go for another trading post? There's no trading post left. Yeah, so do you go for digging or do you go for temple here?
I think at this point he has to. I think he has to go for a temple for Fire 2. I think that's.
I was wondering, like, if you want to save the coins to advance shipping, is it better to go for taking this black hex with a hard dig and the spade that you got, and that's gonna be hard to use anyway? I don't know.
I just think that he might be better off using that spade to get one of the gray hex near the bottom or the blue hex near the bottom and get access to another green hex. So would he be able to build 2 dwellings, a temple, and upgrade his shipping twice?
Yeah, that's the dream, right? Which is, if you can do all that, I think you have the game. But does he have the resources to do all that? That's the big question here. And we see Babak is very, very concentrated there. I think he's probably trying to figure out, do I have what it takes to do exactly what you described?
Or does he take the double dig action and maybe build 3 dwellings?
That will be good too, right? That gives them possibility to get maybe beat Cultism Network. However, how does he? Yeah, if you go for a shipping town, and
I don't think he has enough to. So we see he goes for the temple.
Yeah, and I believe it's going to be the shipping town, right? It has to be. Yeah. Oh, he's going negative time now.
I think he just passed it by like 1 or 2 seconds.
So we see like the tension and the pressure of this last round. Babak very, very concentrated, using all of his timer for this very big decision. And again, he's looking pretty good. I think that it's has pretty very much. He has very, very much a good chance. He's the player I'm picking for advancing right now.
Yeah, he looks like to have a pretty big points lead over Ghostly and Nerdcube at this point, and it's looking more and more difficult to overcome that.
Yeah, and he's still building 2 dwellings. I don't think it's going to be enough to beat Ghostly on networks, but it's still.
It might be enough to tie him.
Yeah, it's possible. It's very possible it's going to be enough to tie him. So Nerdcube now, what does Giant have in mind at this point? I'm sure that he has in the back of his mind that he might be able to beat cultists on 5 cult, right? He has 3 priests right now in his reserve. I'm sure he wants to advance shipping too, because it's staying on the shipping top. But if he could like do both of these things, advance his shipping while maybe get into the 7 steps of the fire cult and going for 5 or 3, it will be very good for him to at least steal a cult. But
so,
again,
an interesting thing as well. Nerdcube, can he build those 3 dwellings out to maybe tie Babuk and Ghostly on network, or?
I see 2 dwellings for him, right?
The 2 red hexes is the 3rd that's going to be.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean,
without Earth 1, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, especially if it's not clear that it's going to give him any network point, right? Any more network point. I think he's going to beat Bowser anyway. He's going to get 3 ships. So he's going for the 11 points down. He took all the biggest towns, right? So it's going to be his scoring. When we're wondering how he's going to score points without scoring favor, his answer is towns. He's going to get 29 points in this game in towns. And we have to remember this decision to go for the priest town in round 2. So that's how he kind of grinded all these points. Maybe he has chance to have a good enough score to qualify for the game as the best 3rd. Is that like on his radar? I hope so. I'm gonna say I really hope so, because I want Nerdcube to carry on this tournament. He's always such an entertaining player to watch.
He's definitely fighting till the last possible moment. He's fighting all the way till.
And we see here I mean, he's gonna advance ship twice and then have priest send maybe to fire, and that's pretty much gonna be it for him.
So Bowser has completely upgraded his digs. That's something that just I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the game where Bowser did all that he could for scoring, right? Upgrading digs is a lot of scoring, and he has all the points favor, and still, I mean, I just could not get back from these losing these early 2 hexes. Is there any way that he's still thinking about 3 towns with this digs? This advanced dig. He has 3 priests to dig.
He need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 workers just for the digs, and he need. Yeah, I don't think he has.
Oh, and he got the leech that he needed. Maybe the three towns is alive for Bowser. I will be.
The dream is alive.
That will be some consolation prize for him.
What do we have here?
So I don't see any ways for Ghostly to go to build the last dwelling that he was. Just a little short on resources. So it seems that Babok will succeed in finding Ghostly on that one. Babok now is going to advance shipping. I'm pretty sure he has this one in the bag.
Yeah. Don't forget, though, Ghostly does have a bunch of code points. Other than air, which maybe he have like 2 points here and there. But yeah, so he will catch up definitely for sure a little bit with the code points.
Yeah. I was just eyeing the chat here, and people are saying rightly that I'm an idiot. There's no way that Bowser can get this third town. It's actually because of the other town, the Sunday Sanctuary town. It's too close, so he cannot put the tile there.
The town in the river space.
The other time. So yeah, good to point it out, guys.
That's something we forget about, that ability that if the key touches an existing town, it doesn't work. So
yeah. So no other town for Bulgar, unfortunately.
That's a big sad.
Yeah. I'd love to see that.
So Ghostly goes ahead and builds a trading post, and I think that's pretty much wraps up the game for Ghostly.
Yeah, very strong game again. If we have a chance to chat with him, we'll have to ask him what was his consummation of alcohol tonight. Did it match the level from the qualification? And is that a factor in this game?
So that actually, by Bowser putting his priest to fire, actually hurts a little bit witches, as it takes a few points from them.
Yeah. And Bowser still have 2 priests, right? He's probably putting another one on Earth too. So 1 fire and 1 on Earth, I would bet for mermaids. And yeah, maybe it's closer than I think. I mean, what kind of score that he has on the cold, can Ghostly steal that one? I will be very impressed.
Yeah, so
we see Babok passing at 126.
Ghostly at 105.
He has a 20 points lead, and the question will be, we won't count it right now, we'll get the suspense, but the question will be, what is the cold score for Ghostly enough to be able to get those 21 points that he's missing on Battle. That's gonna be the suspense for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so we see NerdCube also passing here, finishing at 114, which is respectable. With the way he missed out on Earth 1 and he missed out on Water 1 as well, 114 is a great score.
So
yeah, Bowser's wrapping up here, and drum roll.
Yeah.
We'll start the countdown.
Woo's gonna advance for sure, and who's gonna have a second chance? That's the question we have here. The drama, huh? I know people talk about this all the time, but that's such a great way to finish the game.
Yeah. As we see, Ghostly's catching up. He actually
catching up.
At the moment he has passed Babuk.
Yeah, he has 1 point ahead. Will that hold now? And with the score on air, it looks like Babuk will be get enough for the win.
3 points.
My God. And how close will be NerdCube in the end? That's another question we have. Or does he have any chance to getting the best third? I mean, he is 25 points behind, more or less. It's going to be tough.
That's a significant gap. It's not looking good for him getting best third to advance, but we'll cross our fingers and hopefully he can.
I'm going to light a candle for him. I've got to remember my Catholic heritage and light a candle for him. All right.
Congratulations, Babuk.
Do we have Babuk ready for the winner interview here? Are you with us, Babuk? All right, not yet, it seems. So yeah, I'm really jumping here because I'm really looking forward to talk to Babuk. I don't know how much people know Babuk. I've been playing a lot of Gaia Project, but we go back for a long time. We were there before COVID, both of us. And there's no better guy than him, really. I cannot be more happy to see him winning this one, and I'm really, really looking forward to hear his thought here on this one.
After the start and the amount of green hexes that Bowser dug in round 1, I was really surprised and really impressed how Babuk was able to turn the game around and take the win.
Oh yeah, what a recovery! What a recovery! We have to mention Ghostly not moving on, but actually staying alive, right? For this second chance game. Again, the community, I went together, but I think all the community was so happy when he qualified for this tournament. I think there is no more deserving guy, and to see him be able to put on the second game on the big show and being able to stay alive, that's gotta feel good. I mean, I'm sure I will not be surprised that if he's still standing after I don't know how much he drank, but if he's still standing and he's listening to us, good job, Ghostly. Very, very happy for you.
He said his dream was just to make it to the Fire 2 Open, and I think he has to start dreaming a little bit bigger now, because now he has a chance and the second chance game to maybe make it to the semifinals. So definitely.
Totally. I mean, totally. I mean, he's Ghostly. We've seen everything happen in this tournament. We know everyone has a chance, and yeah, he has, I think, a very, very good chance to go ahead. And I will follow his course very, very closely. Very looking forward for that.
So yeah, while we wait for Babuk to come here for the interview, what do you think about next week's game? Or this Saturday's upcoming game? I think we have Bezel will feature in that one.
Bezel with his So Chris in this group, I'm looking forward to see the intro to this group. if our viewers watch the selection, actually Chris was trying to get a weak group and he succeeded. He was very convinced that he succeeded at least, and now he will have to live up to his talk to see that something that Bizzle had struggled a lot all the years, used to it, and I'm very looking forward to see how he will answer. I think we are getting ready to get Babak on the winner interview. Are you with us, Babak?
Yeah, you hear me?
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah,
Amazing
Thank
game.
you.
Really good game,
Thank
Babik. I'm really impressed with how you were able to get the win after losing some key hexes right from the start.
Yeah, man, when mermaids took double spade in round one, I thought I was screwed totally. And then when the cold dig from cultist was on the red, I played the whole opening thinking about getting what is the D7, the central red anyway. And yeah, I thought my game was over when I lost it. And I really didn't expect this win, to be honest.
Yeah, so you sound like you were almost ready to give up once you got this cold dig on D7. At what point did the fire of hope came back to you and you saw that you may have a chance to get D9? When did you realize that?
I mean, during the game, I guess, kind of seeing my points pretty on par with everybody before even building my first town. Kind of I saw that as a good sign since I had two towns coming, and then I almost thought at the end that I screwed up my second town. That was the moment where I had to do some math at 3 a.m., which was pretty hard. And
So,
but yeah.
Yeah, we saw you thinking very hard on that move.
Yeah.
Okay.
I almost started counting on the fingers.
So my
got to
question is,
remember
for that second town, you went a little bit in the red timer, like by 1 or 2 seconds. But what were the options you were thinking about other than building the temple for Fire 2?
I could take the double dig, and I couldn't figure out whether one was better than the other or just the same. And I think I could eke out one more dwelling this way, but I wasn't sure. I could take the double dig probably. It was the same. I didn't end up doing the math correctly. I saw my timer in red and I chose one. So I don't really know what would have been like with the double dig.
It seems like you picked the right option. You got the win. If we go back to the beginning of the game, we were kind of wondering, and we saw Nerdcube shaking his head when you picked the stronghold bonus rather than the spade bonus. Can you walk us through this decision?
Well, I kind of wanted. Let me turn on the hex names. I knew I wanted to open stronghold because I wanted to get F3, which I kind of see as a very key hex for witches on this map, and I wanted to make sure I get it in round one, possibly if it was contested by mermaids, and I also thought that if I let mermaids get the spade, I thought they would take the priest as a power action, and I would take double dig and dig the central red. I was pretty sure that was gonna happen, so I was pretty bummed when mermaids took a double spade. I didn't see it coming. I guess it was good as a move, but I mean the priest to water seemed more natural when you have bonus spade. So that was the thought about it.
I see. Ryan, did you have another question for Babak?
Yeah, I think overall your game was really just an amazing comeback after the start. We both saw in the round 2 when the cultists put their cult spade to the D7 hex, which prevents you from connecting through the middle. We both thought you were going to build a town, but instead you ended up building a temple. Do you think that ended up working out well for you, building a temple and getting Earth 1?
Yeah, I think it was quite a lot of points, surely. Maybe it was even better, I don't know. I kind of had some hope of getting Earth 1 anyway, even if I double spaded the central red. It's hard to tell. If it was better to build a temple, then I'm happy that Ghostly uses his cultic on the central red.
And again, I want to bring you back more toward the beginning of the game. I was a little surprised to see, because witches are known to be good on this map, to see you get them at 30. Were you surprised? Were you happy when you got them at this price?
I kinda picked witches at 30, thinking actually I think giants are better, but I just have to bid on witches because they're considered strong, and it would be weird not to go towards them first. And yeah, I think at the beginning before the beginning of the game, I thought giants were better than witches.
Interesting. So it was your first showing, if I'm not mistaken, in the Fire 2 tournament. You got the win in your first game. How confident are you for the rest of the tournament?
I mean, I don't know how far I can push my luck, but I already, as I said in chat, I already, like, the biggest achievement for me was finally beating Nercube. That was worth more than even winning 2-0 for me. My historic nemesis from Gaia Project.
Nercube did call you out, saying that for some reason you were unable to beat him, but I guess you just proved him wrong.
Well, I thought so until today. I just could never. Yeah. I have a badge made that I can wear every day. Or maybe a t-shirt. I beat the cube. Something like that.
Yeah, I think we all would like the t-shirt. It's such a great player and such a great achievement for you on your first showing. Wonderful game. I think it was very, very entertaining. I liked the strong economic game with this strong opening. You were able to bounce back after the rough digs at the beginning. So big congratulations to you for this showing. Very impressive, and I'm gonna follow you for the next round very closely. So congratulations, Babak.
Thank you very much.
Once again, congratulations.
All right. So that will conclude our game here and the show for tonight. Again, incredible game. Super happy to have been there. Thanks a lot, Ryan. It was a pleasure to cast with you.
That was my first time casting, and it was really a lot of fun being on this side of the camera and getting to watch this amazing game.
You did amazing, and let's all tune in on this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. No one wants to miss the next game for the Fire 2 Open. It should be a blast again. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.